Howdy folks, Kirk, Jay, and Lou here with another tip of the day as far as stucco goes. How many of you guys got an old stucco house? It's about 100 years old here. And you remove a deck because it's just time. That deck is beat up. It's got to go. It's got to be replaced, maintenance. Or you have air conditioning, or you have awnings. When you have an old house like this that's 100 years old, you never know what you're going to find. So what Jay did is he does a lot of light carpentry also. Actually, he does a lot of carpentry, period. They removed some of this here, and they're going to rebuild this and put new stairs in. But before they put the new stairs in, we've got to go ahead and lath this up and get it approved for the city. So what Jay did is he looked at, sometimes you can get away with, see this old wood lath here, old timber lath. It's from the 1890s to 1930s. I still see it sometimes. Sometimes it's in excellent condition. Sometimes it's beat up. Well, that area there is a little bit beat up, so Jay and Lou are going to chase it. That's what Lou's for. He got this hammer chisels. Lou's going to break all this stuff out. I hate breakout, guys, so we don't mind that stuff. Anyway, what they're going to do is they're going to break out, no doubt, to explore. I mean, when you're doing explorations, guys, take a little bit more than you need just to see what the heck you got. So they're probably going to take out about here and see what they have. Already they pulled this out, so Jay put a new piece of plywood in there. And that was pretty beat up. It was too ugly to even show. So Jay went ahead and put his plywood there. All these guys are going to do today, or all we're going to do today, is lath this. A lot of times when you lath over this old pressure-treated wood, I call it old cedar wood, old briquette wood. Anyway, there's a lot of ways to tie this in, but this is the best way right here. And then what we'll do is when they break all this crap out here, we'll find an area. And what you can do, guys, you can go in a groove here. You go in the groove, clean it out, and then cover down like that. And put Sikaflex polyurethane caulking in that groove after you get all the dust off. So anyway, these guys are set to remove this. I'm actually working on the truck right now. I don't want to be around that dust. Anyway, once they get all this stuff done, we'll show you how a good method to waterproofing all this. I mean, if you're going to have the city come and inspect it, which there's a GC here, so he's going to have the inspection. And once that's done, he's going to reframe, put a new porch here, and things like that. But what we will do, too, is we'll show you how we match the stucco finish here. These guys here, they did a pretty good job. They blew it on. They put the stucco in a hand hopper and they blew it on. It's really rough. The original is kind of smooth because they had more water in that. The JC asked Jay, well, can you match it a little tighter? He says, yeah, I'll just add a little bit more water when we dash it. And we won't use a gun because it makes it too sharp. So when this is painted, and this is painted, it's going to be pretty, except it's a little too sharp. You have to use like 10 coats of paint. Jay says, we'll do it where you just prime it and paint it and it'll match. But that's next week after a lath inspection. So these guys are going to get busy, and I'm going to continue with what I started, maintenance on the truck. All right, guys, I'll show you a little update of where we're at. To show all this will bore you guys. I know you're thinking, too late. But anyway, I'll show you what you guys need to do when you're doing a little bit of carpentry to prepare for stucco. Like, okay, Jay went ahead and put the new plywood in areas that were just too beat up to do anything with. So now that he got that there, he actually shimmied the paper between this old keyed lath. So once you shimmy it inside there, you clean all the dust out. They actually used a little blower and cleaned all that dust out. Then what you want to do is find a polyurethane caulking. This is Sikaflex, and Sikaflex it's a construction sealant. It waterproofs, it adheres everything. So a fat bead of caulking would go right here. Why? Because, I mean, once the stucco's done and it gets painted, that should waterproof everything. But just in case it's here for a while and then we don't come back to do the stucco for whatever reason, this gets caulked right here. That way if water ever hits this wood, it hits here, hits the caulking, and falls harmlessly on this. What we did is he's already put this one here too to show you twice what you want to do. So, just for example, here's another key. This is a clean key. A key just means where can you put that paper that it's way in. We fish the paper in here like as far as it'll go. Sometimes this old wood lath has tar paper behind. Sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on what we got. So anyway, this is fished in here. So this tube of Sikaflex polyurethane caulking, nasty stuff, guys, but it's the strongest that I've ever used. You can take 3 drops, put 2 bricks together, and they won't come apart. That's how strong and great and adhesive this is. So again, we're going to go ahead and put a fat bead of caulking right here. That's just in case. Now, when we put the wire on that, we got to avoid that caulking because that'll jam our gun. And so, because we weren't sure if the guys are going to remove this little foundation, I think they should. What we did is we took the paper all the way down to the ground there until we know what's happening. Here where you have a door, a threshold, guys, you can take the paper up to it and then caulk the crap out of this piece here, or you can do what we sometimes do and put a peeling stick here and then come underneath the threshold just in case the water pours on here. Southwest side, guys, it gets hammered by the rain. So the water hits here, and rather than going back, it hits here when it drips down in case the wind's blowing. It'll hit this Vicor and just come down the paper harmlessly. So that's where we're at right now. Lou's about to wire this guy right here. And anytime you see a yellow mark, that just means there's a stud there. Stud. So getting ready to wire it up too. But I thought I'd show you just what we're referring to, because sometimes folks that just don't get this old wood lath, and I don't blame them. We've been messing with this stuff for 40 years. That's how we know how to do all of the lath. But anyway, that's how you tie it all in if you're doing carpentry prior to doing stucco. Jay is a very good carpenter. I mean, he can build a house, but he does a lot of carpentry on a lot of jobs. And he'll take Lou if Lou likes to bust out. I hate busting out. All right, guys, we are complete with this. That's funny. I was putting a sign, and Lou says, "Who's going to see that sign here in the backyard?" I said, "That's not for anybody to see. That's for the inspector, because most people have no idea what they're looking at right here." You guys probably watch this video and say, "What the heck are they doing?" That's in case the inspector comes here and he looks at it and he's not even sure what the heck we did. But they do know our name, and it's synonymous with quality. So that's why I put the sign back here. The guy will come back and say, "Oh, the Giordano family, these guys are good," and they'll just sign us off. Anyway, my name is Kirk. Jason's on the camera. My brother Lou picking stuff up finally. We're getting out of here. We thank you guys for watching, and as usual, we'll see you on the next one.
All right, folks, as always, we thank you all for watching. We really enjoy your questions and comments. If there's anything you want to learn about, please let us know in the comments. And as always, from the entire Giordano family,
we'll see you on the next one.
Nailed it.